If you've ever wondered how quickly a quiet street can turn into a battlefield of truth, judgment, and hidden strength, keep watching to the very end, because this story will shake your spirit awake. Don't forget to subscribe. Your support is what will help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. The night was supposed to be ordinary, a calm walk home under the buzzing amber glow of street lamps. But for Darius Cole, nothing ever stayed ordinary when people saw his skin before his humanity. He had barely stepped off the bus when he noticed them. 3 men standing near the closed hardware store, all of them white, all of them watching him the way hunters study prey. Darius kept his pace steady, shoulders relaxed, breath even. He had learned long ago that dignity was an armor, but tonight the air felt sharper. "Hey!" one of them barked as Darius passed. "Store's closed. Don't try anything funny." Darius paused, confused. "I'm just walking home." The tallest man smirked with an arrogance born from habit. "Yeah, we've had reports of break-ins around here. You match the description." The others chuckled under their breath, already entertained by the accusation. Darius knew this game. Suspicion without reason, accusation without evidence, judgment without truth. "I match the description of what?" he asked calmly. The second man scoffed. "You know what?" Their flashlights lit his face as though they were interrogators, not ordinary civilians. One stepped closer, poking his chest. "Empty your pockets." "No," Darius said, steady but firm. That word changed everything. Their faces tightened, confusion twisting into hostility. They circled him as if the sidewalk belonged to them, as if dignity did not. Suddenly one shoved him, the force sending him backward against a brick wall. "Don't get smart," the tall one snapped. "You people never learn, just cooperate." The word sliced deeper than the blow. Darius restrained the fire rising in his chest. Because anger wouldn't protect him, wisdom would. "I don't have to empty anything for you," he said. "You're not police." That only enraged them more. One swung, his fist cutting the air, but Darius moved quickly, dodging just as the fist crashed into the wall. The others closed in, shouting, grabbing his jacket, trying to pin him. But Darius refused to fold. He held his ground, muscles coiled, heart pounding. Still, the accusation, the disrespect, the cruelty, all of it reminded him that some attacks aren't about violence. Some are about the belief that you don't belong. Tonight, that belief was about to meet its reckoning. The men grew louder, angrier. Their insults became a storm, every word thrown like a weapon. "Think you're tough?" the tall one growled as he yanked Darius by the collar. "We'll teach you a lesson." But Darius didn't flinch, not because he wasn't afraid. Anyone would be, but because fear had no power over him anymore. He looked each man in the eye, steady, unshaken. "Let me go," he said, "before you make this worse for yourselves." They laughed, a cruel mocking sound that echoed off the storefronts. "For us?" One repeated. "Man, shut up." Another grabbed Darius's backpack and tossed it aside, scattering papers across the pavement. "What's this? Plans for your next crime?" he sneered. Darius exhaled slowly, the way his grandmother taught him. Breathe through the injustice. Breathe through the anger. But even breath has limits. A car slowed nearby. A woman inside looked but kept driving, another witness unwilling to intervene. The men didn't even glance at her. They were too certain nothing could touch them tonight. They pushed Darius again, harder, forcing him to stumble. "Stay down," the tall one ordered. Darius rose. They shoved. He rose again. By now the tension in the air felt electric, like the world was holding its breath for what came next. One man pulled out his phone. "Let's record this, since he wants to act famous." Darius watched the red recording light appear. He knew what the video would show if he let things continue. A black man surrounded, attacked, blamed for the violence done to him. He had seen this story play out too many times. Not tonight, because the truth they didn't know the truth about who he was bigger than their ignorance. And the moment they pushed him one more time, the moment they swung once more, he decided it was time for the turning point. He stepped back, straightened his jacket, and said the one sentence that made their arrogance crack. "You're assaulting a federal special investigator, and it's all on your camera." Silence, real heavy silence. Their mouths fell open. Darius reached slowly into his inner pocket, pulled out his badge, and held it up under the streetlight. Gold, official, unmistakable. Everything shifted. The power, the fear, the truth itself. Their confidence shattered like glass. The flashlight beams trembled in their hands. The tall one took a step back as though the badge burned his eyes. You're lying," he stammered. But even he didn't believe his own words. Darius held the badge steady. Name, Agent Darius Cole. Department, Federal Civil Rights. Investigations Unit. He let the title settle over them like thunder. And congratulations, you just committed assault, intimidation, and obstruction of an active federal officer. The phone that had been recording slowly dipped. The man holding it swallowed hard, suddenly aware of the evidence he had willingly captured. We didn't know. That's the problem, Darius replied. His voice carried a quiet force, more powerful than any shout. You didn't know. You didn't ask. You saw my skin and decided that was enough proof to humiliate me. The men exchanged frantic glances. The arrogance was gone. What remained was fear. Real fear, because the system they trusted to protect them suddenly had rules they couldn't twist in their favor. One tried to speak. Look, man, agent sir, we were just profiling me, Darius finished. No, attacking me. We didn't mean degrading me. Each word hit them harder than the last. The tall one's breathing quickened. Are you going to arrest us? Darius stepped forward, and they stepped back like shadows escaping light. The law gives me that right, he said. But I want something else first. They froze. What? The shortest one whispered. I want you to understand that what you did tonight is exactly why people like me do this job. Because justice doesn't begin in courtrooms. It begins in moments like this, when the truth strips power from prejudice. The silence that followed wasn't just fear, it was realization. Darius could see it flickering in their eyes like a flame threatened by its own heat. He picked up his scattered papers, dusted them off, and placed them back into his bag. Every movement was deliberate, a quiet reclaiming of dignity they had tried to steal from him. Then he looked at them again. You're going to hand me your IDs, and then you're going to apologize. The men scrambled to obey. Tonight, justice wasn't loud. It was controlled, precise, unshakable, and it belonged to him. They handed over their IDs with trembling hands. For the first time since the confrontation began, they couldn't look Darius in the eye. Guilt, real, uncomfortable, undeniable, had taken its rightful place on their shoulders. Darius recorded their names, their statements, and confirmed their faces. They watched, powerless, as the law they thought they could distort wrapped around them instead. Then came the part they dreaded most. Now, Darius said quietly, apologize. The tall one stepped forward first, voice strained. I'm sorry. Agent Cole, we were wrong. The second followed. We shouldn't have treated you like that. The third could barely speak. I'm sorry, sir. They weren't perfect apologies. They weren't enough to erase the harm. But accountability isn't the erasing of wrong. It's the beginning of right. Darius nodded once. You will be contacted for further investigation. Your cooperation moving forward will determine your outcome. Do you understand? Yes. All three said it in shaky unison. He stepped aside, giving them space to walk away. But they didn't walk. They fled, their arrogance left behind like a discarded mask. The quiet that followed felt different now. Not the quiet of danger, but the quiet of justice settling into place. Darius exhaled deeply. Not in relief, he didn't fear them. He exhaled for the world that kept forcing men like him to prove their right to exist with dignity. He looked up at the sky, the stars faint against city haze, and whispered a promise to himself. One day this fight won't be necessary. One day, truth will walk these streets without fear. As he walked home, his badge hidden again beneath his jacket, he carried not the weight of the attack, but the strength of the victory. The moral was clear, powerful, and eternal. Never judge a person by race, by rumor, or by your own fear, because the person you underestimate may be the very one fate has chosen to judge you. If this story moved you, inspired you, or opened your eyes, don't leave without supporting the message. Like the video, drop a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe for more powerful, justice-driven stories that awaken the world.